The year is 440 BC. The sun is rising over the hills surrounding Athens, and one of the most influential cities in human history is waking up. Athens is not the largest city in the ancient world, but its power stretches far beyond its walls. Nearly 300,000 people live in the city and its port of Piraeus. Ships arrive daily carrying goods, grain, timber, and ideas from across the Mediterranean. Above it all, towering over the city, stands the Acropolis. At its summit, a magnificent new temple gleams in the early sunlight, the Parthenon. Athens is wealthy, Athens is confident, and Athens is experimenting with something completely new: democracy. But what was it actually like to spend a single ordinary day in this city? Not as a famous philosopher like Socrates, not as a powerful leader like Pericles, but as a regular citizen navigating the streets of the most famous city in ancient Greece. Let's step back more than 2,400 years and experience a single day in ancient Athens. The sun rises over Mount Hymettus, casting long shadows across the narrow streets of the city. You wake inside a modest house in a crowded residential neighborhood below the Acropolis. Your home is built from mud brick, simple and practical. From the outside, it looks almost plain. No decorative windows facing the street, just a wooden door set into thick walls. Most of the life of the house happens inside, around a small open courtyard. But before the day truly begins, it's important to understand something about who you are. You are an Athenian citizen. That may not sound special today, but here it means everything. Your father was Athenian. Your mother was the daughter of an Athenian citizen. You are a man over the age of 18 and you've completed your military training. Because of that, you belong to a small and powerful group. Out of nearly 300,000 people living in Athens, only about 30,000 are citizens like you. Everyone else lives under a different set of rules. Foreign residents called medics live here permanently, running businesses and workshops, but they cannot vote or own land. Women are excluded from politics entirely. And then there are the slaves, perhaps 100,000 of them, who perform much of the labor that keeps the city functioning. Inside your house, the day has already begun. Your wife and daughters are awake, grinding grain into flour using heavy stone tools. It is slow, exhausting work that must be done every single day. If your household owns slaves, they are already fetching water from the public fountain and preparing the morning fire. Women in Athens rarely leave the home. Their world revolves around the household, weaving cloth, managing food, raising children, and overseeing domestic work. You eat a small breakfast, bread dipped in watered wine, perhaps, some olives or figs. Athenians don't eat large morning meals. The real social life of the city happens later in the day. Stepping outside, you enter the winding streets of Athens. Unlike later Roman cities, Athens was never carefully planned. The roads twist and turn unpredictably, forming a maze of narrow alleys between houses. The ground is dusty and uneven. Garbage collects along the sides of the streets. Pigs roam freely, feeding on scraps. It may be the birthplace of philosophy, but the smell of the streets reminds you that this is still a crowded ancient city. By mid-morning, you make your way towards the Agora. This open plaza is the heart of Athenian life. It is a marketplace, a political center, a social gathering place, and a stage for public debate. The Agora is already buzzing with activity. Merchants shout out prices for their goods. Potters display rows of painted vases. Farmers bring vegetables and olives from nearby villages. Slaves hurry through the crowds carrying heavy loads. Foreign traders bargain over shipments arriving from the port of Piraeus. Under long covered walkways called stoas, groups of men gather to talk, argue, and debate. Politics is everywhere here. In Athens, democracy is direct. There are no representatives speaking for you. Every citizen has the right to stand before the assembly and propose laws. Near one of the government buildings, a crowd has gathered around a man making an argument about taxes and tribute from allied Greek cities. His voice rises as he gestures passionately. Another citizen interrupts him. Soon, the two are shouting over each other as others join the debate. This is what Athenian democracy looks like: messy, loud, emotional, but deeply participatory. As you continue through the Agora, you notice a small crowd gathered around an older man speaking calmly to a group of young Athenians. He isn't dressed like a wealthy noble. His tunic is plain. His feet are bare. Yet people are listening closely as he asks questions, simple questions that quickly become complicated. What is justice? What is virtue? What does it mean to live a good life? The man questioning everyone is Socrates. He spends much of his day here in the Agora, challenging assumptions and forcing people to examine their beliefs. Many admire him. Many find him irritating. Decades later, the city will put him on trial and sentence him to death. But today, he is simply another voice in the ongoing conversation of Athens. By midday, the sun is blazing overhead, and many citizens begin making their way towards the southern slope of the Acropolis. Today is part of the city Dionysus, a major religious festival honoring Dionysus, the god of wine and theater. The theater of Dionysus is carved directly into the hillside and can hold nearly 17,000 spectators. Stone seats rise in wide semicircles around the stage. You find a place among the crowd as the performance begins. The actors wear large masks and elaborate costumes. Only 3 actors perform all the speaking roles, switching masks to represent different characters. Behind them stands the chorus, a group of performers who chant, sing, and move in unison. Today's play is a tragedy written by Sophocles. These plays are not simply entertainment. They explore profound questions about fate, justice, responsibility, and the power of the gods. The audience sits in silence as the drama unfolds. Moments of horror, revelation, and suffering force the crowd to confront uncomfortable truths about human life. At the end of the performance, the crowd slowly rises and exits the theater, blinking in the bright afternoon sunlight. After hours of intense emotion, many Athenians head towards one of Athens' gymnasiums. Here, physical training is just as important as intellectual debate. You enter the palestra, a courtyard used for wrestling practice. Like all Greek athletes, you strip naked before exercising. In fact, the word gymnasium literally means place of naked exercise. Your body is rubbed with oil and dusted with fine sand to improve grip during wrestling. Pairs of young men grapple in the courtyard, while older citizens watch and offer advice. Between matches, discussions continue about politics, philosophy, and the play that was just performed. In Athens, learning does not happen in quiet classrooms. It happens through conversation, debate, argument. By late afternoon, you scrape the oil and dust from your skin using a curved metal tool called a strigil. After washing, you head home as the sun begins to sink towards the horizon. But the day is not over. Tonight, you are hosting a symposium. The symposium is one of the most important social traditions in Athens. It is a drinking party, but also a gathering for philosophy, music, and storytelling. Inside the men's room of your house, couches are arranged around the walls. Guests arrive and recline on the couches, leaning on one elbow. Slaves bring simple food, bread, cheese, olives, and dried fish. But the real focus of the evening is wine. Greek wine is always mixed with water in large bowls. Drinking unmixed wine is considered barbaric. The evening begins with a small offering poured out to the gods. Then the drinking begins. Soon the room fills with conversation. Guests debate philosophy, politics, poetry, and love.
Some quote lines from Homer's epic poems, others challenge each other's arguments. Musicians play flutes, a dancer performs. Games are played where guests flick drops of wine towards small targets across the room. As the night grows later and the wine flows more freely, the atmosphere becomes louder and more relaxed. But beyond the walls of this gathering, many Athenians are absent from the conversation. Your wife remains in the women's quarters of the house. She will never attend a symposium. She will never vote in the assembly. Her life is confined to the household. The slaves who served the food and wine will spend the night cleaning the room. They have no political voice, no legal freedom.
And across the countryside surrounding Athens, farmers continue working long days in the fields, often too busy to participate fully in the democracy celebrated within the city. Athens is extraordinary. It is the birthplace of democracy, the home of philosophy, theater, and political debate. But it is also a city built on inequality, exclusion, and contradiction. As the final guests leave and the streets fall quiet, the Acropolis still looms above the sleeping city. The Parthenon shines pale in the moonlight, a monument to the ambition and creativity of Athens, the city that changed the course of history, but also a city filled with ordinary people simply living their daily lives. And tomorrow, just like today, Athens will wake again, and the debates will continue.